One of the most fun ways to roam is to burst your enemies. This build does exactly that. It's really good at it. Today we're gonna take a look at this incredibly fun Willbender build. I'm Summer, and without much further ado, let's jump right in. So like I said, you're playing Willbender, you use Spear with Sword. You have some options for gear, but I recommend to run Commander's armor to get some toughness and concentration, because you have a lot of boons and the higher boon duration helps to upkeep them, and it's quite nice, especially after Celestial nerf. And the toughness is also not bad, because if you can't get all your bursts, you are actually a really good build as well in a prolonged fight, because you have so short cooldowns, and if you survive for 10 seconds or something, some of your cooldowns come back and you can burst again. That's why toughness helps a lot there. I combined this with the Superior Rune of the Fireworks to get more power and 25% more boon duration. That helps me to get almost 50%. I also use Commander weapons. On the Spear I use Hydromancy and Rage. You can go for different offensive ones. Your Spear is your really offensive, aggressive weapon set, so I would always go for aggressive sigils there as well. Of course, for infusion slots I would always go for power infusions. And on your sword I would go for energy and cleansing, just because you want some defensive capabilities as well, and those sigils are generally the best defensive ones. Then on the trinket side I would go for full dragon stats to get some ferocity and also some vitality, because your guardian, you have a really low vitality starting pool, and therefore you want to get some vitality to cover your toughness and or have a little bit more effective HP. Like I said, you can switch that up. You can go for a full Marauder build as well to have really high damage, but I feel like if you do this, you lose some boon duration, you lose some nice toughness, and if you are like me and also want to go outnumbered, this build is probably better. For Relic, I think the best choice on Spear is by far Relic of Stormsinger. It gives you a nice AoE attack that deals 500 damage or so and crit on your movement skills, and you have a lot of movement skills. Your F skills, except your F3, as well as your 2 skills, and all of them proc this. It's not created by a teleport, just movement skills, but you have quite a lot of them. So and they are short cooldown, so it's worth it. The alternative to this would be the brawler one. It gives you strike damage whenever you apply protection or resolution, and you can upkeep that quite easily. Both are fine. I would say the Stormsinger is the new one. I feel like that's more fun to use. The other one is so passive, but do whatever you like. For Consumables, I would always go for Sharpening Stones, Superior Sharpening Stones, or equivalents of those, and of course Peppercorn Crusted Sweet Steaks for the minus 10% incoming damage and the power and ferocity, of course. That's really straightforward. There are no better options there. And then, before I get to the trades, I want to remind you, if you want to see more build guides like this, don't forget to subscribe. It would really help my channel and myself out a lot, and I would appreciate it quite a lot. So now to the trade. You're going for Virtues, Radiance, and Willbender. So in Virtues, you get some nice damage per boon. That's why the boon duration is also really nice. Get more damage just from having more boon uptime. Get some boons from activating your Virtues, and it's actually quite long-lasting boons. Then you get your Solution with increased duration when you activate your Virtues, and get more recharge reduction on your Virtues. Then you have, this is really strong, your F3 now is a stun break and gives you stability. That's really good. So it's really important, because your F3 is like your really crazy strong skill, and this makes it even better. Then you have Absolute Resolve. You get a Conti Cleanse on your 2. You have 2 stacks of them, so it's really strong. 3 conditions removed. You can go for this. It increases your damage almost permanently by 10%, but you lose out of the condition cleanse. And I feel like if you are going for fighting everything, then you will probably encounter a lot of condition builds as well, and you lose quite a lot of clans without this. So I would say go for it, this one. Then you have some damage increase. It's actually quite a lot of damage increase if you have H's. Then Radiance, you get Light Aura and you blind around. You use your F1. You reset your F1 when you kill a foe, and you get more crit chance against burning foes, and you have more ferocity. That's quite nice. So then you gain resolution when you use a healing skill, and that's actually almost, let's say, 60% or something uptime. It's crazy if you don't get corrupted. So you will see in a second why this is so important. Then you increase your damage by 10% while you have resolution. So you want to have 100% uptime for resolution to get this damage. And then resolution increases your chance to critically strike. So you have a 25% increased critical strike chance while you have resolution, and you want to upkeep it definitely 100%. And it will grant might every second when you have resolution. So you get almost 9 stacks of mind if you have permanently resolution. This is actually really good. So if you look at the crit chance now, we have 50%, then we can give ourselves Fury. And if you have Fury, you get 20% more, so 70. And then you have the 25% increase from this, so you have almost 100% crit chance. You can optimize the gear here to go for 100. This is fine, but I feel like it's not needed because you deal a lot of damage and you want to do some boon duration as well in there. So I think the min-maxing you can do, but it's not needed. And then you have Willbender. So you get access to your, say, nice movement skills on your F skills, and you get some more power, and the Willbender flames, so your F skills, deal more damage. Then you get swiftness and a movement speed increase, and then you get some damage buff whenever you activate a virtue. This overrides itself, so you can stack this really easily because it will consistently give itself a refresh the cooldown. And then here, really nice. So this is really strong. You have so many teleports, and all of them grant resolution and protection for a short amount of time. And that's really strong because you can reapply your resolution even if it gets corrupted. And with your boon duration, you can upkeep quite a lot of protection as well. And this is also the trait why you can use Brawler Relic, because this makes it really, let's say, frequent when it procs. And of course you get resistance when you activate your F3 skill, which is quite important because oftentimes you want to either disengage with this, or more likely you want to engage with it, and if you get blinded or weakened, that kills your damage. But if you have resistance granted by this trait, you don't care about this for the next few seconds. And then I take Deathless Courage to reduce the damage while I have my courage up. So that's really strong because, like I said, if you use it as a disengage tool, you get less damage, but if you use it as an engage tool, you get also less damage, which is quite nice because if you engage and don't care about dodging anything, just dealing damage because you have so heavy condition on normal damage reduction, that's really strong.
Short edit here. I think Tyrant's momentum trait after some testing is way better. It provides much more damage and you don't really feel the condition and power damage reduction you get from the other trait. So you should always run the middle trait in the Willbender trait line at the end, in the Grandmaster.
So that's it for the traits. Now quickly over the skills. Your healing skill is of course Signet of Resolve. It's really strong. If you can make use out of Reversal of Fortune, you can use it because the block is really strong if you use it at the correct time, but I feel like this is so crazy heal and passively removes condition actively even more. It's really strong. And of course, Renewed Focus is a must. It's so strong in outnumbered fights, you get invuln and you can reset your F skills. Then you have of course Judge's Intervention for Sunbreak and even more importantly as teleport on the target. Really huge range. Contemplation of Purity is such a strong meditation, breaks stun, but converts all conditions on you into boons. All of them, it's crazy strong. And then you have Whirling Light as a really strong damaging skill as well. That's it for the utility skills. Your F skills, like I said, really nice. Apply the Stormsinger relic as well. This also cleanses conditions. They alter the, let's say, the effect as long as they're active after you use them. So the first one gives you some might and burning application. The second one heals you a bit. And the third one gives you some boons. So that's really important that you know how to use them. But most likely you want to spam them because these are your movement skills, these are aggressive skills, and this one also is such an oppressive resistance, stability. You can't be damaged that much. It's a really strong skill. And then you're on your spear, nice auto attack with some healing as well. Then a little dash on your heal rush, which will deal some damage and also can heal some allies. The spear has some nice mechanic with the illuminated buff, so it's almost like the clarity buff with Mesmer Spear. So when you use it and proc it like it's supposed to proc, so if you strike an enemy, this attack for example, you get illuminated, which will empower the next spear attack you use. And all of the spear attacks have an, let's say, condition how they empower themselves. The 5 skill is a symbol. It's a CC and it gives you resistance. And it will, as long as you stand in it, all the attacks you use are illuminated. Therefore, you don't really want most of the time to proc the illuminated buffs. You want to, but you don't care. If you use this symbol first, then you can spam all your other skills and they are all illuminated, so they are all empowered. When you stand in the symbol, that is. And then you have your 3 skills, some whirl that gives you some might and fury, really nice, and deals some damage around you. And then your 4th skill, that's the most important one on this weapon set. So it's a nice rain of spear fragments. And it deals a really huge amount of damage even after the nerf. And also removes conditions. And if you illuminate it, it deals even more damage and heals more conditions. So it's really strong. So you should always try to eliminate your spear skills, especially this. Then you have the sword skills, some nice damage auto attack. Then a teleport with a symbol. Your target, so you always have to have a target for this to teleport. You just use it, you get the symbol. That's also fine in some cases, but most of the time you want to use the teleport, of course. The 3 skill now is better because you can move while doing it, deals some damage and blocks missiles while you cast it. It's an AoE, not an AoE, but it's a ranged attack, so you can deal some range damage with sword as well. Then you have some nice vulnerability and power damage on this. And then you have a nice teleport. It's a weird teleport. If you have a target, you can teleport in the direction as well. So it's like your sword too and your judge's intervention, but it won't do the attack animation if you're not in range. If you are in range and hit it, it's actually really nasty because it will immobilize and slow the enemy. Most of the time that's a kill after that, because you in 2 seconds you can dash out so much damage that they are probably dead, depending on the build of course. But so that's it for the skills. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I really enjoy this build, I hope you do too. And if you want to see more build guides like this, don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.